Welcome to the future, which it turns out is mostly just the present with more robots. Right, artificial intelligence. It's the two-word phrase that's somehow both unbelievably exciting and deeply, deeply terrifying. One minute you're asking it for a recipe for lasagna that won't give you heartburn, and the next, you're wondering if it's secretly plotting to replace your job with a more efficient toaster. And nowhere has this blend of hype and horror been more pronounced than in the world of politics. The story we were all told was that AI would storm our elections like a digital Godzilla, spewing out perfectly crafted lies and deepfakes so convincing they'd make your own mother doubt your existence. It was supposed to be the death of truth as we know it. But here's the thing about the future. It often arrives less like a tidal wave and more like a leaky faucet. A constant, annoying drip that you eventually just learn to live with. And so it was with AI in the recent global elections. We braced ourselves for a deep fake apocalypse, a bombshell event that would change everything. Instead, what we got was less of a revolution and more of a slight upgrade to the same old political nonsense we've been dealing with for years. Think of it less as a brand new superweapon and more like putting a laser sight on a rusty slingshot. It might look fancier, but it's still just flinging the same old rocks. The reality is artificial intelligence is already here, and it's been quietly working in the background of campaigns for a while now. Before we even get to the scary stuff, AI has been busy doing the political grunt work. It's been used for everything from drafting those fundraising emails that clog up your inbox to analysing voter sentiment on social media, a practice some have called social listening, which is just a polite way of saying digitally eavesdropping on your every complaint. It helps campaigns target potential donors with terrifying precision and generates endless variations of get-out-the-vote messages. It's the tireless, unpaid intern of the modern political machine. So when we talk about AI in elections, we're not just talking about some far-off sci-fi concept. We're talking about a tool that's already deeply embedded in the process, for better or for worse. The grand narrative of an AI-driven electoral meltdown in 2024 didn't quite happen. There was no single knockout blow delivered by a rogue algorithm that swung an entire election. But that doesn't mean nothing happened. Oh no. Instead, what we saw was a series of bizarre, clumsy, and occasionally alarming attempts to use this new technology to mess with our heads. And it's those attempts that give us a sneak peek at what the future might actually hold. Now let's dive into the political freak show that was AI's debut on the misinformation stage. The examples we have are less terrifyingly sophisticated and more bafflingly weird. Take, for instance, the incident in New Hampshire. Just before the primary, some voters received a robocall from what sounded exactly like President Joe Biden, telling them not to vote. A classic voter suppression tactic, but with a newfangled twist. The culprit wasn't a shadowy foreign power, but a political consultant who claimed he did it to show everyone how dangerous AI could be. An act of public service that has now landed him with a $6 million fine and felony charges. A truly spectacular self-own. And it wasn't just a one-off. The political stage became a testing ground for all sorts of digital chicanery. In Slovakia, a fake audio clip magically appeared right before their election, featuring a prominent candidate supposedly discussing how to rig the vote. In Indonesia, one party went full-on necromancer, using AI to generate a video of the long-dead dictator Suharto, who then endorsed their candidates. That is genuinely ghoulish. Imagine your deceased, problematic grandpa suddenly appearing on YouTube to tell you which brand of yogurt to buy. It's not just wrong, it's profoundly unsettling. It's using technology to turn history into a puppet show. Then there was the endless parade of AI-generated images and memes, designed not to create new lies, but to pour gasoline on existing fires. We saw fake images of black voters enthusiastically supporting Donald Trump, AI portraits of Kamala Harris dressed in Soviet gear, and even a completely fabricated story about Haitians eating pets in Ohio, all amplified with AI-generated visuals. These weren't meant to be masterpieces of deception. They were quick, dirty, and designed to confirm the biases of people who already wanted to believe them. They are the digital equivalent of someone shouting nonsense in a crowded room just to see who turns their head. The key takeaway from all this is that the much-feared deep-fake revolution was, for the most part, a bust. The most effective bits of misinformation were still the old-school classics: videos edited deceptively, quotes taken out of context, and straight-up lies typed out in a social media post. These are what experts call cheap fakes, and they still do most of the heavy lifting. The AI-generated content, while alarming, often had the uncanny, slightly off quality of a wax figure. You could tell something wasn't quite right, even if you couldn't put your finger on it. But that, as we'll see, doesn't mean it didn't cause any harm. So, if AI didn't actually swing any elections, why should we care? Because the goal of this stuff isn't always to change your vote. Often the goal is just to make you exhausted. It's to pollute the information ecosystem so thoroughly that you don't know what to believe anymore. When you see a fake image of a politician, then a fake audio clip, then a fake video, your brain doesn't necessarily conclude that the politician is bad. Instead, a part of your brain just throws its hands up and says, "I'm out. I can't trust anything." That's the real victory for the people spreading this junk, your surrender. This phenomenon has been described as a death by 1,000 cuts. There's no single fatal wound to our democracy. Instead, it's a slow, grinding erosion of trust. Every time you have to second-guess whether a photo is real or spend mental energy fact-checking a bizarre claim, a little bit of your faith in the system chips away. It makes the entire democratic process feel like a cheap carnival game where all the prizes are fake. And when people lose trust, they disengage. They stop paying attention, they stop participating, and they become cynical about the very idea that truth is knowable. This erosion of trust is the real, measurable impact of AI's foray into politics so far. It hasn't crowned any new kings, but it has made the kingdom a much more confusing and unpleasant place to live. The constant barrage of both real and fake scandals, amplified by algorithms, just becomes noise. And that noise benefits those who want to operate without scrutiny. It's like a magician using a flashy distraction with one hand while picking your pocket with the other. The AI-generated noise is the distraction, and what's being stolen is our collective ability to agree on a shared reality. And while tech platforms like Meta and TikTok have put some rules in place, requiring labels on AI-generated content and banning its use in political ads, it's a bit like putting up a no splashing sign at a water park. Sure, it's a nice thought, but it's unlikely to stop the chaos entirely. The safeguards are playing catch-up with a technology that is evolving at a terrifying speed. What was clumsy and easy to spot in 2024 might be seamless and utterly convincing by the next election cycle. We avoided the AI apocalypse this time, but we've now seen the trailer, and the feature film is still in production. Now, amidst all this doom and gloom, it's only fair to point out that AI isn't exclusively a tool for chaos merchants and political necromancers. Like any powerful technology, it can also be used for good. In fact, some of its most impactful uses in recent elections were surprisingly mundane and genuinely helpful. The most obvious example is language translation. In countries with diverse populations, AI has been a game-changer for breaking down communication barriers, allowing campaign messages and vital voting information to reach people in their native languages, from Japanese to the many languages spoken across India and the United States. Beyond just translation, AI has also been used to make politicians more accessible. Yes, really. In Japan, one candidate used an AI-powered avatar of himself to answer thousands of voter questions online, providing instant responses on his policy positions. In the United States, several primary candidates launched AI chatbots to engage with voters 24/7. And perhaps most powerfully, in Pakistan, the imprisoned former Prime Minister Imran Khan used an AI voice clone to deliver speeches to his supporters from behind bars. It's a strange new world where technology can give a voice to the voiceless, even when that voice is literally synthesized by a computer. These constructive uses show that AI can be a tool for democratic engagement, not just for deception. It can help streamline campaign operations, making them more efficient and allowing them to connect with more people. It can analyze public data to help governments better understand the needs of their citizens. When used responsibly and transparently, it has the potential to make our politics a little bit smarter and a little more responsive. The problem, as always, isn't the technology itself. It's the people using it and what they're trying to achieve with it. The same tool that builds a bridge can also be used to smash a window, so where does that leave us? Standing on the edge of a very weird future, that's where. The 2024 elections were a warning shot. They showed us that while AI isn't the all-powerful election-stealing monster we feared, it is a potent tool for creating confusion and eroding trust. As the technology gets better, cheaper, and easier to use, the threat will only grow. The only real defense we have is our own critical thinking. We have to be more skeptical, more patient, and more willing to question what we see online. So the next time you see something that makes your blood boil, take a breath, think, and for the love of God, don't just blindly share it. Your sanity and possibly our democracy may depend on it.